and welcome to today's cooking class. It's Thursday, it's 3 o'clock. Unfortunately, I had to record this because I'm actually live in a test kitchen right now while you're watching this. And I just needed to make sure that you had a nice meal that you could enjoy with your family. So today's cooking class, we are going to be going to Spain and we are going to make Spanish paella. Now, if you look at it phonetically, and I'll show you what it looks like. If you said it phonetically, it would paella. It's paella. So there you go. There's your Spanish lesson for the day. So we'll do some fun food facts and we're going to get this started as well. So the fun food facts is paella actually comes from Valencia in Spain, and it is of course named after the pan, not the city, because Valencia, but paella, no, that doesn't work, but it's actually the pan. And clearly you can see I'm breaking all the rules already because I am using a saute pan. I do not expect you to run out and buy a special paella pan, but if you're using a pan from your kitchen, what you're going to look for is something that's probably 12 to 14 inches width, and you're going to want to find one that hopefully is a couple inches high, because that's what is going to be required for the amount of product that we're putting in this. One of the reasons I love paella, the taste, but it's a one-pot meal and you can almost like set it and forget it once you get the ingredients in. So let's get started with our cooking class, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is we've got about a quarter of a cup of olive oil in our pan, and we're heating this up, and we're going to add some vegetables to this. So this would include, of course, onions, peppers, and tomatoes for this one. So our pan is getting hot, so it's medium high, and now that the oil is warm, we're going to put in one chopped white onion. Let's make sure that we sweat these out so they sort of become translucent. So if you're wondering what does sweating them out mean, we're getting some flavor built in here, really. So they're quite white right now. Once they start cooking and heating up and releasing some of the moisture, you're going to see that they'll actually turn more to a translucent color. So the next part is adding a little garlic. So what you can do with your garlic is you can grab garlic out of the cupboard that you have, or if you have some dehydrated garlic, we're going to want to put in about 1 clove, and that, if it's dried, is usually the equivalent of about half a teaspoon. So we'll just add this in, stir it up a little bit. Now, if you are using fresh garlic, we're going to cook this a little bit longer, but I just want to get a little bit of moisture on it. You can see that the onions, by the way, are translucent. That took a couple minutes. Now let's add in our peppers. Again, these are diced, and you can use red, you can use green, you can use orange, you could do yellow. I sort of wanted to do a little bit of color in here. So we've got the good start to our paella. Next, now that we've got the garlic, the onion, the peppers, and they've cooked a little bit, let's move on to adding our tomatoes. So this is roughly, I like Romas because they don't have a lot of extra liquid in them, and I find that they have really, really, really nice flavor. So we'll just get this heated up a little bit as well. Get these cooking. And tomatoes, maybe you don't have Romas. If you're using the other tomatoes, what I'm really wanting to do by adding the tomatoes at this point is making sure that I maybe get rid of a little bit of the extra liquid that's in there. And then we're going to add some of our protein. So how about if I give you some more fun food facts? Okay, so Guinness Book of World Records, let's start with that. Wouldn't it be great now to get some spices in here? So we're taking our Spanish paella seasoning. And if you're wondering what's in here, because that's the beauty of buying products that actually have multiple things already done for you. You're not having to go to the spice aisle and buy multiple different spices. Love this. So this actually has within it, and everything is gluten-free, by the way, I should mention that. Sweet paprika, we've got garlic, we've got smoked paprika, wonderful. We've got onion, we've got red bell peppers. Oh my gosh, we've got a little bit of salt, some rosemary. Yeah, so everything that we need. Saffron, I almost forgot, and it does say saffron on there. Saffron is key. So here we go. This is what our spice jar looks like. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab our tablespoon here. And you'll notice that there's chunks in here, so make sure that you get a nice array. And I'm going to roughly add a tablespoon of this. The directions actually say add 1 to 2 teaspoons per cup of rice. And in this recipe, we're going to be using 2 cups of rice. Oh, I can smell the smoked paprika. It's got a nice smoky flavor. Love it. I actually was just talking with my son, and I had told him that I was whipping up some paella, and he's like, "Oh, yum!" Yeah, our family does. We do love our food, and we like it flavorful. So here we go. So we'll just mix this up a little bit, get that flavoring going. Now, if you wanted to make this a little bit more, in my opinion, authentic, but totally optional, you might want to add a little bit of white wine, some really dry white wine. Not required, but we do need to get some liquid in here. And the liquid that we're going to use, because we want to make this meal family friendly, is of course, we're going to use some broth. I'm making this paella with chicken and with shrimp. Time for us to add our protein. And make sure that you spread it evenly. Because one thing about paella is you are not going to be stirring it once we add our liquid. So we want to make sure that we have our things placed where we want them. You can see I've got way too much here. Separate these out. Now we're going to add our rice. So I have 2 cups here. Slowly add the broth. And now just jiggle it. You can see that this is coming to a boil. The largest paella ever made was in Madrid, Spain, in October 2nd of 2001. And that Spanish paella was actually served to 110,000 people. I wrote down the thing, it was amazing. There was 1 kilogram of saffron in it, and they actually, it took 4 hours to cook. It had 80 chefs, and they actually used shovels to stir it while it was being made. So that's crazy. Because of the weight of it, it weighed, I wrote this down, 32? I think 32 tons. They actually had a crane to support it in case it fell over. Yeah, I would hope so. That would not have been good. Anyway, I'll give you some more fun food facts in a minute. Now we've got this started. You can see that it's starting to boil, and we do not stir it. This Important, don't stir it. But before we walk away, maybe just give it a couple shakes. We want to get the liquid down, and now we are not going to cover it. We are going to let it sit and create that nice crispy crust. So set your timers now. We're going to be back in about 15 to 18 minutes, and we're going to see and make sure that our moisture has evaporated and that we can then put our shrimp in. It is now 18 minutes later, and you can see that we have sort of got our liquid evaporated. It is time for us now to put our shrimp on, and this, if you wanted to add additional things like, oh gosh, you could put mussels on it, or you could put peas on there. And what I'm doing is I'm just sort of nestling them in there. I don't want to set them just on top because they do need to cook. I'll cook probably in about 5 minutes. Okay, so now we've got our shrimp in here, and we're just going to set the timer for about 5 minutes. We just want to make sure that this is cooked. So here we have it, 5 minutes, and you can see this one shrimp doesn't look like it's quite cooked, but there is enough steam in here that we can now, without making our shrimp rubbery, we are now going to grab our lid, place it on here, turn off the stove, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to unplate it, and we're going to see if we've actually got that authentic sacarat on the bottom of our paella that we are going to totally enjoy. So there's your Spanish paella. I will come back and I will show you the final verdict. Stay tuned. 10 minutes, and here we go. There's our paella. All that's needed now, if you have some fresh parsley, great. If not, maybe just throw on a few slices of lemon. And we can now just get a spoon and start eating our Spanish paella. So thank you everyone for watching today's cooking class. Spanish paella, one pot meal. And no, it does not need to be made in a paella pan. Just find a great saute pan with a 2-inch height and about a 12 to 14-inch diameter. And you too can be enjoying a meal from Valencia. Take care everyone. I will post a picture of it plated. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.